Hello friends, today we're going to learn a mindset shift strategy to get you the dream job you want, to help you increase your total compensation, and to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Okay, so this technique comes from a client intro that I did, and this client intro just messaged me the other day saying that through this technique, he was able to land a job that allowed him to increase his total compensation by 200%. And this is what he did from the session that we had together. What he did was he essentially optimized for failure. And this is very counterintuitive, but it works. So bear with me. Okay, so most of us go after our goals, like landing a better job, with the mindset that success would entail landing the better job, right? The issue is that this makes us very risk averse because we know that if we don't land the better job, we have failed. And a lot of us are kind of terrified of failure. It's just how the brain works. It's completely normal. And so when we think about landing the better job, we know that if we expend the energy, if we put ourselves out there, if we do all that work, and we don't land the better job, we're gonna feel like epic failures, and it makes us just not want to act. And so this is what you need to do if you're in this place where you're like, I know I could be looking for a better job, I know I might be happier somewhere else, I know maybe it's time, but you're not doing it, like you're not doing anything. This is what you need to do. You need to change your mindset to make sure that you create a mindset that failure is the success. And this is how it goes. So what I want you to do is I want you to think of a number of how many rejections am I willing to take to get my dream job? Is that like 5? Is that 10? Is it 50? Most of us are actually able to take quite a bit of rejection. And if you consider that rejection is the variable here that we're going to optimize for, then it kind of shifts your mind to being a bit less scared of the rejection. And so what we did with my client, who he works in the tech industry, is that we said, okay, when you go into the job hunt, into looking for a new career, into looking for a new role, what you're gonna do is you're gonna optimize for rejection. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna think, I need to rack up 20 rejections. That is my only goal. Until I rack up the 20 rejections, I'm not even gonna think about anything. I am not even allowed to think about anything until I rack up those 20 rejections, because that is my number one goal. Because through the rejections, I'm going to get desensitized to rejection. I'm going to get better at interviewing because anything that you do over and over again, you're going to get better at. And I'm going to just become a lot less fearful. The thing is that as it goes always with this strategy, I've never seen it go another way, is that he actually only acquired, I believe it was 1 or 2 rejections, and he actually ended up with 7 offers. And he took the one that allowed him to increase his total compensation by 200%. And so this to me is just remarkable, and it speaks so much to how risk averse we are as humans. And certain professions are actually more risk averse than others. I see this quite a bit with my clients who are typically technical, working in the tech industry. So certain professions actually change your brain. If you're somebody that works, say, in tech, like you're a technical individual with an engineering background, or maybe you're a physician, you're in the medical field, you probably have a higher risk aversion than the general population because you are essentially paid to make sure that you have accounted for all the risk. For instance, with a physician, if the physician doesn't account for all of the risk, they might get sued. They need to see all of the risk and they need to mitigate for it. A software engineer needs to actually go through a risk mitigation procedure so that their code doesn't crash the software. Essentially, your brain is being restructured to see more risk because it is beneficial to your profession. And this is completely neutral. This is not good or bad. There is no judgment here. We do know that your profession does change your brain. We actually have studies from London taxi drivers in which we see that the spatial awareness portions of their brain actually are larger than the general population. And we know this through neuroimaging. And so if you have a profession that essentially rewards you for thinking a certain way, you don't get a new brain when you think about your career. You don't get a new brain when you go home. You still have that same brain and you're going to keep using it in the same way. And so when it comes to the job hunt, when it comes to careers, when it comes to growth, that kind of requires more of a mindset change to have success. Risk mitigation is not necessarily an effective strategy for career growth. We know from an HBR study that individuals who rose to CEO status the fastest actually took the most risks. And yes, I will link all of those articles I'm mentioning below. And so we also know anecdotally from individuals like Elon Musk that he says that he attributes all of his success to just being someone who can manage risk more, who takes more risks, who can stomach those risky situations. And that is not to say that you need to be someone like Elon Musk, but you may want to consider utilizing this exercise as a way to increase your risk tolerance, which is what is needed to achieve the goals, to increase your career visibility, to increase your total compensation. You need to go out there and take the risks. So before I leave you, I'm gonna offer you a helpful equation to goal achievement, to career achievement. And that is success equals risks minus rejection. So that, again, that is success equals risks minus rejection. So essentially, the more risks you take, obviously the more rejection you'll have, but also the more success you'll have. And so if you're not getting enough success, it usually means you're not taking enough risks. And again, this is more for the individuals that I work with and what I see on a daily basis. And maybe there's also individuals on the other side of the spectrum out there that are kind of more manic and taking maybe too much risks. But in my experience, I have yet to meet an individual like this. And most of you all, especially those of you who are my clients working in tech, you probably are not taking enough risk. So optimize for failure. Failure is your new KPI. This is the thing that you're gonna go for. The more rejection, the better. And I'm pretty sure most of you can handle 20 rejections to get your dream job. All right, I hope that is helpful, and I will see you all next week with another video.